Okay, good. So sometimes, right? Not always manual testing. You don't always get what you want. So sometimes, let's say you're working only in manual testing, and let's say your boss told you, to work on regression testing. Okay, so something regression testing, and that involves automation part. So let's say if it is Selenium, let's say QTP or any other tool for that matter. You can have some. So if you have some idea about any one of the tools, so you can use. Um, you have some idea. How the regression testing we can do. Okay, so we just go through this pretty quick. So this is like will be an introduction. I'll not go more detail because this gets more into detail about automation. So you have this is a different world altogether. You don't want to go completely into that unless you really want to move into automation part. Otherwise, we'll just have some look, just dive into it and just understand some of the part and move around, because this goes pretty much detail into coding parts, because you have automation developer, automation tester. Of course, you'll get QTP tester, that's fine. There's an automation developer, automation architect, automation. Again, if it's a big corporation, then you also have business analysts for automation. And then that's a different world altogether. It goes pretty big, and So here we'll discuss just major parts of this QTP. Okay, and also, right? If so, let's see. I'll also you can use this Selenium too if you guys are interested. So somebody told me like they wanted introduction on Selenium. Since I cannot provide at this time Selenium, but you guys can go ahead. I'll send you this link URL and a little bit information on this PPT presentation, how the Selenium works, and you can go ahead and add this Selenium IDE for Firefox. You have for Firefox, you have for Chrome, you have for almost all browsers. Okay, I'll go ahead and add this to your browser, and then you can start working on Selenium too, and it has good reviews. 24 reviews. That's 4 out of 5, and I think that should be good. This too you can test. So what's this? Basically, you are doing a regression testing. So you are involved in regression testing, and what you are doing again. At the end of the day, it's a functional testing, of course. But this is using a tool. Okay, so far we didn't use any tool. Remember, we are just using only tool we use that. The test management tool. So far we are just talking about test management tools, how to report, how to write test cases, all the stuff. But really, we as a QA we never use any test management tool. I'm sorry, we don't use any tool to test an application. But in this scenario, in this case, we are using a tool, like Selenium, QTP. This is free. You can just go ahead and add it to your, and you can use that. So I'll send you the link and some presentation on that. Maybe you also need to download that Eclipse. If you are really going into coding part, download that Eclipse and have some look into it. Just have some idea and just maybe that should be too big. To start with, maybe you can start with Selenium IDE. Okay. So that's about Selenium, and let's go to pretty quick QTP. We discuss about this. So right now we don't have QTP. We have UFT, Unified Functional Testing. Okay, so it was first called as QTP, Quick Test Professional, and this was bought. This was bought from Mercury. And first Mercury actually had this, and bought by HP from Mercury. They always manual testing, was not always productive, not always, so they came up with regression testing using a tool. Now you can also test an application. So the same thing you'll be doing what? Testing, this is the same thing. But instead of using these buttons, instead of you clicking it, the tool will do it for you. That's what it means, okay? That's what it means using an automation tool, okay? That you do it once, and remaining all the stuff you record it. So you see this recording and playback, you do that, and remaining everything the tool will do it for you. Even for the results, everything will do it for you. Okay. So here's the thing. So testing process, QTP consists of this process. Let's see one by one. Preparing to record. So you need to record. Okay, to see, recording, right? I mean, this voice recording, video recording, all this stuff. You still have this application recording. What you are doing is you're recording an application flow. Okay, so the flow, just clicking this button, entering the values, all this is being recorded. So that's called recording. Okay, recording what? Application, the flow movement, what you're trying to do, and all those things will be actually recorded. Okay. And then what you do is stop. Okay, yeah, of course you have the stop option, you can stop it. And enhance the test. So whenever you do a recording, it's the code is generated, and what code is it? It's a Visual Basic. Okay, so Visual Basic code. And you can enhance the test, okay, you want to edit values, you can remove values, you want to parameterize it. We'll talk about this parameterization pretty quick, once we go there. All that, you need, of course, you need to enhance it. You cannot do anything just by record and playback, right? That doesn't help. You need to enhance it, remove some parts, add some parts, just basically you are modifying some code, okay, all those things. Debugging, if you have any issues that go through, and of course you'll be having some issues when you are running into large applications, big applications, you're recording it, okay, now of course you need to debug, the code might not be good, you didn't record properly, all those things, so that's the reason you need this debugging. Running the test and analyzing the results, right? Once you record it, you run it, right? You record it, you can run the same thing, or modify this, you enhance it and run it, okay? So just like, record and playback, that's it we are doing. Okay, and reporting defects. Of course, you do have defects in this too, but it's not a good idea. I mean, it's not a good to get defects at this stage, because if you get any defects at this stage in the regression testing, then who is the one to get caught is the testers, manual tester. Because the first thing that your boss says, why it was not found in manual testing and why it isn't showing up in regression testing. So it's not very good, because you need to answer that question. Why it's showing up now when it was, manual testing was done, and why it's not shown then? So that's a valid question, right? So it's not a very good idea to get defects here. So you need to do manual testing good, so in order not to get issues from here. But then again, you will be still getting issues. Why? Because the developers keep on changing the code. In some companies, trust me, there's really no systematic order of doing the work. They keep changing the code. Once the code gets into the test environment, now they need to stop. Okay, they stop touching the code. But then again, the developers keep on doing it. Their job, it's my job, and they move the code again to the test environment, and again it's pretty much chaos and all stuff. So you still get the defect. So technically you cannot stop it. But yeah, this is the option: record, playback. Okay, record, enhance it, debug it, and playback. Okay, so these are the major process done in the QTP. Let's go to the next slide. So here, once this is the old, it's 9.2. So now you may not have this this kind of thing, but still this will be there. Okay, so you need add-ins. So why do we need add-ins? Because QTP, let's say, let me show you something. See, there are so many things in this. Okay, so here, there's a lot of things. Okay, it's here. Okay, this is simple. You have pretty simple thing here. But if you take, let's say, if you take an Amazon, let's go to Amazon really quick. If you want to see the code of Amazon, see this. I mean, a lot of things here. There's, you have videos here. That means there's Flash Player. There's a lot of scripts. There's JavaScript. Okay, and again, so QTP doesn't recognize everything. So all these things are not recognized by the QTP. Okay, so QTP only has few options. So that's the reason you need this add-ins, right? So that's the reason you need this add-in for QTP, because if your video, you're playing video, there's ActiveX, and if you use a web application, you need this web. And if you're using Java, JavaScript, all those things, and some database too, you need all these options. That's the reason you need this add-in manager. So you can add in whichever, you click it so that you can use that code. I mean, the code is designed, of course, but here it can recognize, QTP can recognize. That's the reason you need this add-in. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next topic. Oops. Yeah, yes. Somebody asked a question, right? So is add-in similar to plugins here? It's actually different terminology, but yeah, it's similar to plugins. Okay, because since QTP doesn't recognize everything, JavaScript, Java, Ajax, it doesn't know. It only knows some simple application, web application. So you need to have plugins or add-ins so that it can recognize complex code. Okay, so now you have this. Now again, what does the QTP does basically is record playback. That's all. Okay, we'll go into detail descriptive programming, of course. That is a little bit coding point of view. We'll just see for the basic things here. Okay, so here what you do is recording modes. QTP has 3 recording modes: normal recording, analog recording, and low level recording. Okay, in the normal recording, of course, it's normal. It's like you left clicks of mouse. Just like this button. Okay, it's normal recording. Okay, and this kind of buttons are all normal recording. And now you have like analog recording. Analog recording is kind of typical. You have like something like it's like if you are using the right click. So this is not normal. This is doesn't come. See here, if you see this, the right click here, the desktop is completely different from the right click from here, right? They might have some additional options for this web page doing kind of functionalities added to that. If you want to do such kind of testing for such kind of functionalities, you need analog testing. It's like I'm sorry, this is the right click, and the left clicks are actually normal recording. Okay, sorry if I those left click, which is normal recording, we do this left click. Right clicks, something like this, which you can see that analog recording. And then you have low level recording. Let's say there are special things which need to perform, like tab. Let's say you're not clicking it, you're using tab and hitting enter. So that's kind of low level recording. So that's the reason you have this recording modes. It could be more than that. Okay. I just gave you an example. Okay, those don't stick to that example. It could be more than that. You can perform multiple functions using this normal recording, analog recording, and low level recording. Okay, so there's 3 types of recording. Next you have run modes. You can run it. So once you record it, you do what? Run. Okay, you have 2 types in that: running normal and fast. Okay, go to the next one. Okay, so here we'll discuss in detail about QTP. Go pretty quick here. Okay, good. Okay, good. Here, okay, okay. So here now this is okay. So this is no more this kind of UI interface for UFT. So now its status is UFT, right? No more this kind of interface, but the buttons and functionalities for that UFT remain same. Okay. So let's give an let's see what we can. So here you have, this is a title bar. Okay. So title bar, title bar where, you have this, what I'm trying to do, recording or playing back, okay, whatever. This is called title bar. And of course, this is a menu bar where file, edit, view, insert. So this menu bar is constant in any application, any tool you are using it, this menu bar will be there, which consists of file, edit, view, insert, test, all those things. And we can add, we can add any number of things here. So that's a menu bar. And you have this file toolbar. This is shortcuts. Okay. Shortcuts, basically. These things you can find it in this menu bar too. Okay, so this is like file toolbar. Next, you have this debug toolbar. Okay, where you can debug once you are in the script mode. That's in expert view. So this is a keyword view. So this gets activated, and you can do this. And this is testing toolbar where you can record, run, stop, do all stuff. Here you see this, you have options, all the options. So this is testing toolbar, and this is action toolbar. Now you have various actions. So we go through this. What are the actions and what is done? And this is a test pane. Okay, where you have all the information about the item, operation value, and documentation. It's kind of what is the property and what is the values for this. This is this contains in the keyword view. So this has two views. One is keyword view and other is expert view, right? There's two here. And next you have this data table. Data table is kind of Excel. Not exactly Excel, but it's Excel for QTB. Okay, so it's not really Excel for outside, but it's Excel for QTB. Okay, so you need this for parameterization. Okay, we'll talk about this parameterization, what exactly it is, and how we do this. Okay, so we need a lot of values because we'll be running a lot of iterations. Okay, just because one iteration is done, that doesn't mean testing is done, right? Again. As I explained, a lot of things should be tested. So that's the reason you need this data table. Okay, a lot of customer data, a lot of information should be added here to do this. Okay, so this is data table, and you have this active screen if you want. This kind of screenshot where you want to put checkpoints. Checkpoints is like you want to highlight something. Okay, so that's the meaning of checkpoint. Okay. So you want to highlight something. You see this actually. This is smart query. That's highlighted. You see this purple color, so that's called checkpoint. Okay. So let's go in detail, one after the other. So we know about this menu bar. Next you have this. Let's talk about this file toolbar. This is new. If you want to open something new script, you can do that. And this is to open. If you have existing script you want to open, you can do that. And this is floppy icon, you want to save it. And this is a printer if you want to do printing. And let's go to this. Okay, so this is quality center connection or HPLM. So it also works for HPLM too. So what is this about? Okay. So why do we need quality center connection? So this is because since scripts are prepared by automation developer, because we are not doing script, right? We are a tester. We are not developing anything. We are not doing any coding. We are not doing any coding. We are only working on testing. So all the developing work, all the coding work is done by the developers, automation developers, and they are putting that script, okay, into the HPLM wherever they want, maybe in the test cases module or attachment module, wherever they are putting it. Now you want to pull out that script, right? So that's the reason you need this. So that is, let's say that is there in HPLM, and you're pulling out that script here and putting it here because either way you can use SharePoint. You have a lot of options, but this is easy because you can just directly pull up the script and put it here. So that's about call desynchronization. And this is, oh, I forgot about this. So this is, okay, so this is called object repository. Okay, so object repository. Okay, so this is, and what do we do this? Okay, so let's, we'll go in detail with this. So what is an object? So, can anyone say what is an object? So in software point of view, okay, I know in objects, you can see anything is an object, but as a software point of view, can anyone tell me what exactly is an object?
It's an instance of class.
I'm sorry, instance of what?
Or class.
Class, okay.
I mean, in Java, I don't know in other thing.
Okay.
In object-oriented programming.
Okay, that is more specifically to, okay, you're going a little bit in a coding point of view, okay. But I want in like general terms in a layman language, so yeah, that's okay. I mean, in Java you use that object class and all those things. Anyone else? Okay, so an object is which contains both properties and values. Okay? An object is something which contains both properties and values. Okay, let's take an example here. Now, this is an application. This is an application. And if I see here, now if I look into this, everything here on the web page is an object. Okay, so it's this image, yeah, it's an object, right? This is an object, and this buttons, this is an object. So parent object, there's like parent objects, child object. Okay. Now this parent object is a browser where you see this web browser, you see this, and the child objects is now whatever the home page of this. And now if I see this button, so that's a child object. That's 3 levels of objects. So so finally this object is something which contains properties and its values. Object has state and behavior. Okay, I mean that's good. Okay, object has. So here now QTP has to recognize an object. Okay, let's say this button. Let's say I'm talking about this button. Enter GMO online button. Now this is an object. Okay, this is an object. Okay, good. Now, what are its property and its values? Let's talk about properties and values. Okay, so it has height, it has length. Okay, good. Since it's not a 3-dimensional, doesn't have this, the breadth or something. Okay, so this only has height and its length. Maybe length 2 centimeter. Okay, and the height is 0.5 centimeter. Okay, good. Now, if I want to, QTP recognizes this. Now you need to enter all this information. Okay. Now the problem is all the 3 buttons are the same length, right? Same property, same values. It has both the same. Now QTP needs unique. It needs a unique values and at least unique value. So the only unique value that I see here is the title of this button, that is enter GMO online. So that's the only unique. So that's the reason QTP is able to click this button, not this button, or not this button, because you are entering, or QTP recognizes this as a unique because the title of this button is enter GMO online. Here the title is about GMO. So all its property and value should be at least unique to understand, so that QTP can understand, and it has to click this button and not this button, right? So, that's how all the information, whatever is stored in this particular object repository. So, since okay, so this is, since this is an object, this button is object, all this information is stored in the object repository. Now, this is useful when you do recording and playback, whenever you try to record. So QTP automatically records that objects, automatically stores all the images, all the screenshot, all this is stored here in this. Okay. Now since always it's not it's not always useful, because when you are using a dynamic website, you need to know your own objects and properties. Now QTP, now that becomes completely useless, because properties and objects keep on changing in the website. So in that case, you see this man with the hat guy, that's called object spy. Okay, so, that guy is called object spy. Now what he does, when you click that button, it shows all the information relating to this in object. Let's say if you want to know, this is object, right? You want to know what is the length, what is the height, HTML tag, title, length, height, all those information. You know what? You can also see from here. Let's see from here. Okay. So you want to go to this, but this is really not a good idea to get to the system. Okay, good. Going right. Okay. Okay, here is good. Okay, so let's say this is you see this is getting highlighted. So this is the property. What's the property? Input type, and the value is what? Button. The name. Okay, we submit. What is the value? So, okay. So this is one property. This is second property. The third property is language. This uses JavaScript. Okay, and so this is you see this two different colors. Blue color is value, and the red color kind of thing. That's a property. Okay, you can see it here. So this is not really a very good idea to view this, because this job is done better from this guy, a man with a hat guy. So object spy has all the information related to what is the property, what is the value of that button. It's not just button. I'm just giving an example. It can be the screenshot. This image. It can be text. Okay, whatever it is related to. Okay, so you get a lot of information using this guy. Okay, all the properties and all the values are shown right away. Okay, and next we'll go to the next one. This is debug toolbar. You want to debug it, it's a breakpoints. These are the breakpoint where you want to break your code and stop, and you want to run your code, you can do that. So this is for whenever you want to debug your code. Okay, so next you have this testing toolbar, record. You want to, here's the thing, right? You want to record. You want to do what? Record and playback. Okay. So this is what you will be using. So once you record it, all the application, so all the, let's say, now once you put the record, so all the application flow, now you are doing all this, the flow is getting recorded. Okay. See how much time is taking, all these things is being recorded, all these things. So that's the use of this record. Okay. Once this is on, you can, this button is enabled, you can stop that. Okay, once it stopped, all the code is generated. You see the code. So this is not really the code. This is just it's showing the object and its properties, but the code will be in the expert view. Once you click on this, you see that whole code. Okay, and this is an action. Okay, action. What is an action? So action. Let me go into more layman language. Okay, action is worksheet, right? It's just a worksheet. Now you need to write a code. Where you need to write? It's a work. You need to notepad or something like that, right? It's just a worksheet. Okay, so that's what this action is all about. Okay, it's just a worksheet. Now you can do a lot of things with that worksheet. Okay, just not just worksheet, but it has to do a lot of things. So we'll go in detail on that. So this is, split action. You can split. Okay. So you see this, action one. So that's the whole code is all being, into that action. Okay. Now this two is start transaction time and end transaction time. Okay. So why do we need that? So let's say you're doing this and clicking this, and this is taking some long time. See this. No, that's not fast than previous page, right? Now you want to record it, and you want to see the granularity of the page from moving from one page to another page. Okay, so that reason you need this start transaction time and end transaction time, where you can record the how much time it is taking to movement from one page to another page and so on. Okay, is it in microseconds, is it in milliseconds, or it's taking more than that? You can record that, you can view that the time taken between the web page movement. Okay, and okay, this is unlock recording and low level recording. Okay, and so okay, so this is again, this is a test pane where you have all this item. What you're trying to do the operation with that item. Okay, so we'll go with this. Okay, let's say if there is a button, so you're performing an operation. What operation? Click on this. Okay, that's an operation. Okay, if it is a drop down box, then you say select. That's a drop down box. Okay, see here, if it's a button, then you click it. If you drop down box, then you select. Okay, and that kind of operations you are trying to perform. And what's the value? If you click, the value is this, and if you're taking in a drop down box, then value can be New York, Paris, all those things. A lot of options you're having. And that's a documentation. What's trying to do, what's happening when you do this. Okay. So that's a description about this test pane. And of course, this is the data table where you will be entering values. Okay. So you'll be entering here. Okay, and running that script, entering all the values. You will be doing parameterization. Okay. In sense, let's say this is a San Francisco. Now you'll be removing the San Francisco since that is a value. See this? This is a value. Now you want to remove this value and put some variable there. Okay, so put some variable. Maybe you want to put as flight or something like that, and enter that value here, right? Not just San Francisco. You want to go to San Francisco to Paris. From Paris to New York to okay, San Francisco, so on. All these values should be put here. So in that case, what happens is it runs in iteration: 1 iteration, 2 iteration, 3 iteration, and so on. Okay, so that's about this. Those various buttons in QTP. Any questions so far? So we discussed about various buttons. We'll go in detail about this. Okay, so let's close this. So this is object repository, as I told you. So this is how it looks like when you open that object repository. You see this? There's a property and its value. Only 2 things are stored there. Okay, whenever you see an object, there's only 2 things: property and its value. But properties has so many things. Okay, it has type, it has name. Okay, as you have seen here, let me show it again. People who are missed. Okay, so people who are missed, right? We can go here again. Oops, not that. Okay, good. So since this is not a very good thing to view from here, but still I need to get some idea. Okay, so let's see. Here, let's say the property for this button is here. You see this? This is a property and this is a value. The similar thing, that's what they are putting here. See this? This is a property. That's how you can recognize. That's how QTP recognizes an object. Okay, because there's the only way. There's no other way. Okay, And and now just all the screenshot is already stored in object repository, so it's not a big deal. We are not worrying about any property and values because we have done what? Recording. So recording, all this is recorded. So you can add the object, you have option to add new object, okay, or you can add your own object or delete an object, it's up to you. But when you're doing recording, really you don't want to do anything. QTP already takes care of this object stuff. Okay. Only thing when you require this is when you are doing descriptive programming. So in that scenario, you need to know what is a property and value, because you will be entering that into the code itself. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Object spy. We talk about this. What are you trying to do with the object spy? You're trying to get the information, what is a property and value. So see here, the same thing will be displayed here, but in more detailed manner. Okay, so here it's only small little bit information, but when you use that, you'll have pretty more detailed information showing up what are its property and its value. So that's the job of object spy. Okay, so let's move to the next topic. Okay, there are like three types of properties where QTP recognizes. There is mandatory properties, assistive properties, and ordinal identifier. Only few properties here. So this is what it's trying to say is you need a uniquely to identify an object. As I told you, right? Uniqueness is only the way you can identify. Let's say enter GMO online. What is that? Title of the button. So title will be enter. That's how if you put that property and this value into the code. That's how QTP goes. And you write the code and you write dot click. That means it will click this button and moves to the next page. Okay. So that's how it recognizes. Let's go to the next one, that is synchronization. Okay, so why do we need this synchronization? So here's the thing. Let's say you're writing. Let's say you have written the code. Everything is good. You're running the script. Okay. Now, when you're running that script, whenever that script is there, right? It's running it, and let's say there was some issue, issue from the server side, hardware thing, it's something it's cannot be handled by software. So it's taking some time to move from one page to another page. Okay. And now QTP doesn't know that it's a hardware issue, right? QTP doesn't know. So what you're now the QTP thinks it has failed because it's not moving to the next page, right? Let's say if you're clicking this button, it's going to the next page. Now, since it thinks only takes microsecond or just microsecond, now it's not moving. So QTP thinks now since the page didn't move from that page, now it has failed. So QTP takes that as a failed and document as a failed result. But it's not really the case. The page has moved already. Okay, so you see this, but it's taking some time. Let's say 2 seconds or 3 seconds or maybe 5 seconds because some hardware issue and Now, what you want to do is you want to let QTP know that you need to wait, right? What you need to do is wait. So you want to tell that QTP to wait. Okay. Now, what you're going to write this is a one-line statement of the code. You see this, you can do it into the code itself. Okay. So this is the code. Okay. Status, again, window is property. Flight is value. Okay. So dialog is something which is a dialog box like pop-up window, anything which is pop-up window, dialog box, Well, let me show you. That's something. So if this, you see this. So this is a dialog box. Okay, so this is pop-up window dialog box. You know, it's showing up something, right? So this is what it says. Okay, so dialog, and the dialog box name is slides table dot exist. If it is exist, wait. So this is what you'll be writing the code for. Okay, just wait. Wait 10 means wait for 10 seconds, because you know the web page will take some time, and you know you need to. So that's the reason you need this to synchronize. Just a one line, not even just one line code. You know, just you need to put wait in that code. Okay. So you know what? So this code, right? This whole code means, you know, similar like this. You know, this is what the whole code means. That means if the dialog box exists, if the dialog box shows up, then you need to wait, because the dialog box will go away, or you know, something like that, because you know it's a hardware failure or something. Okay, so that's what this meaning of this one code. Okay. That's no, that's why you need the synchronization. Let's go to the next topic. Checkpoints. Again, I told you that checkpoints is like highlighting. You know, you see this, you know, previously. You know, so this is the purple color. That's you are manually viewing it. So there's nothing like, you know, automatic manually viewing it. Okay. Okay. Different types of checkpoints. So there are various checkpoints. Standard checkpoint. Okay, so standard checkpoint, if you don't know anything what is that, you can use that standard checkpoint. Okay, you can put it in buttons, you know, you can put it in images. Okay, and image checkpoint is checkpoint for this images. Let's say this image. Table checkpoint. Okay, if you want to put, you know, so there exists a table here. Okay, so there's actually a table in this web page. Since you cannot see this, I'll show you in the code. Okay, so let's see the code. That should be good. You see this, you know, table. So there's a table. Now you know, as a UI, you cannot see the table, but here there is a table here. Okay, so you see this. This is our table. You know, the table 498, 109. Okay, so that's the table checkpoint. You want to, you know, so this is a table, big table, and you want to checkpoint that, so that's table checkpoint. Page checkpoint, you want to highlight this whole page, that's called page checkpoint. Okay, text checkpoint, you know, let's say you want to do this text checkpoint, this is the one, that's called text checkpoint. Now, if you want to use text area checkpoints, you know, it's like this one, the area of the text. So that's called text area checkpoint. Your bitmap checkpoint is similar to image checkpoint. Okay. And database checkpoint, if you're using any database connection, then you use this database checkpoint. So this checkpoint is manually, I mean, it's used to view it manually. Okay, it's nothing to automate anything, but to view it manually, to see this, like, you know, when you run this, you can see this. Okay, so this is what I highlighted. This is showing right. Okay. So that's about checkpoint. Let's move quickly to another topic. This is how it's showing how you can use checkpoint. You can use checkpoint even using the right click in the application, or use, you know, use from the menu bar. Okay, so you have the option there, and you can use this. So regular expressions, you know, you can go ahead and you can, you know, read if it, you know, just go pretty quick. Parameters. Okay, we, you know, talk about this parameters. Okay, so, you know, let's talk about this parameterization here. Okay, so you know, this is what you recorded. Okay, so you know, I'm muting this, so if anyone have any questions, you can unmute yourself. Okay. Okay. Good. Now, parameterization. Okay. Why do we need this? Let's say you are running QTP, okay? You're running, you have recorded it and you want to run it. Now, there's a whole set of data. Let's try this, okay? Let's try this. You're adding this. I'm going one flow, so let's say all this is being recorded. Oh, I don't have that. So use this. So change it. Okay, and same as this. Now I take my all this being recorded. Place an order. Now this is not only one guy, right? You did for only one guy. That that's my name. Okay, so there's only one guy and the one address. Now there's a lot of people, there's a lot of addresses, a lot of things, a lot of phone number. You want to check each and every person list, right? This sets of data to be done, not just one, two guy. You did record it for one guy. Now, let's say you want to do this for 100 guys, 100 different people, 100 different addresses, 100 different, zip codes, and all these things are pretty much different. You want to do testing for that too, right? You don't want to leave that. Now, the problem is you have recorded only once. Now, you're not going to record 100 times. That's not the efficient way to do the work, right? You only record once. That's it. Do once, play many. Now, what you do is now you want to parameterize that. So, what I try to do is now whatever the information you have recorded, right? So, first name, last name, address, all that can be parameterized. That means instead of this value, you put, let's take, you can put the same thing, address, and in the name, you can put the name, the city, the same thing. Now you remove all this, put that variable. So what are you trying to do is remove that value and put the variable. That's what here they are trying to say. You see this London, they removed it and put the item. That means they put some variable. And where that variable is finding out is in the global sheet. Let's see that. Here you see this, you want to put this and this is a constant. You want to click on parameter and where you're finding out is data table. That's in, this is the data table. What's the name you're giving? P that underscore item. That's good. Whatever name you want to give, that's fine. This is a variable. And you want to put a global sheet. That's good. Once you have done that, enter the values here. You see these values? So this is a global sheet and you're entering the values. Now you can run, okay, this is like four values here. It runs 4 times. That is, first time it runs for London to Paris. Next it runs from Paris to London. Next it runs from Denver to Paris, and then Paris to Denver, right? So 4 iterations, this QTP is going to run because you have parameterized those, parameterize those values and put some variables, and you are, finding out that variable in this global sheet. Now it runs based on the data that is provided in the global sheet. Okay, that's how the process called parameterization. Okay, because you cannot record 100 times. You want to run it for 100 times, you can run it, you can run it for 100 times, but you cannot record that 100 times. That's not efficient way of doing. You do it once, play it many. Okay, just change the values. Change the put variable to that value and enter the information in the data table. You're good. Okay. So once it's done, it's generated. This is the report that is generated by QTP, and it shows how many has passed, how many has failed, how many has warnings. Okay, so once it gets done, this report gets generated. Okay, you can also parameterize the checkpoint. You can do that. Okay, so let's talk about this action. So as I told you, action is kind of worksheet in a layman language. Okay, so we'll stick to that. Because for every action, whatever you're coding, whatever script is generated, whatever the coding is done, it's all done in the action. Okay, so that's a kind of worksheet. So there are 2 types of action: regular, reusable. Regular is like you cannot use it. That means once you have used, that's it. Reusable is something like you can reuse, like for example, library files. You want to have some code that is want to execute each and everything again and again. You make it reusable, dump that script into library file, make it, you can reuse any number of times. That's called reusable action. Okay. Now again, you have these two types where uh, reusable is locally or externally. Locally in sense you are using it local, in your system, and externally in sense you're in whole, where a network place where other team members can access to it. So that's called external. Okay, so these are types of actions. Let's move to the next one. So you can, call an action, this icon, you can call an action here by clicking on that. You can split an action. Okay, can do that. Let's move to the next topic pretty quick. Okay, so this is, okay, you have this in menu bar, go to the insert, and you can, call an action here. Okay. So here you have an option. If you want to make it reusable, check mark this, it becomes reusable action. Okay. So this is an option. Okay. Let's move to the next topic, that is recovery scenarios. Okay. So why do we need this recovery scenario? Okay. So the first thing is, now you're running that code, right? Now you are running, you're running the Qt script, and it takes like 48 hours. Let's say it takes 24, let's say 48 hours. That's almost 2 days, right? Now, when you're running that amount of time, okay, so that's a really long time, right? 48 hours, okay, you're not sitting idle the whole 48 hours, you're doing some other work, but you have a separate, laptop and separate script to be designed, so nobody touches that thing, so that's good. Now, when you're running, that amount of time, now you want to seriously consider about this recovery scenario. Okay, so let's say there are some errors in the code. Let's say there's a pretty long code and a lot of things, and there's server issues, hardware things, a lot of things. Now, let's say there is, you're running the 48 hours, so it's a 47th hour. It has run good in 47th hour, and suddenly a pop-up window shows up in between, right? From nowhere. It was not designed in the script. We know, the application is good. That's really not an issue. That is a server issue or something from the server side. Suddenly a pop-up window shows up from nowhere. Now that's not good, because 47th hour whole script is failed. Now you're wasted 48 hours, right? So that's not good. So what you want to do is, if that pop-up window shows up, you're telling QTP that ignore that pop-up window and continue with the other script. We know we can work on that pop-up window later. So that's the reason you need this recovery scenario. Oops. Okay, there is an pop-up window from nowhere, and it's not there in the code. It's not there in the some hardware issue, something suddenly shows up from nowhere. And the whole script got failed, and it's got failed, and it's not good. Your boss questions, okay, what have you done so far? And if that, you cannot say like, you didn't do recovery scenario. So here, that's the reason you need this recovery scenarios, okay? So there are 3 types: trigger events. That's what I told you, right? Pop-up window is kind of trigger event which gets triggered, and whenever it gets triggered, you will tell QTP that ignore that and move forward with the other step. Okay, and recovery operation post recovery runs in a run option. Okay, let's see pretty quick. So this is, so here the thing that I just gave you an example of pop-up window, but there's a lot of things. Object state, test run error, application crash. Let's say application got crashed for some reason. Now you are trying to say, okay, if the application get crashed, what are you trying to do? You want to run the remaining script or stop right there, or what you're trying to do. So here you can have this recovery scenario wizard, and you can specify what you're trying to do. Okay, so that's about it. Oops, go to this. Okay, so far we have only done record and playback. Okay, we have not done anything about the code. Okay, so we know we only thought about this record and playback. Just click this button, record it, good, playback. That's it. Now all this QTP is taking care of this object thing. Object properties and values. We are not bothered. Really, it's not. We are not bothered about that. Now, since this application is good, we are good, but now there's a dynamic changes in the application. There's a dynamic values, the dynamic in sense the properties, values keep on changing, not exactly properties. Let's say that, the buttons keep on changing. It was somewhere here, it moved to upper, it was somewhere there, it moved down, that's not good. So that's called dynamic, this application keep on changing. So in that case, you really, that's record and playback is really not very useful. Okay, so that doesn't come. So what you want to do is descriptive programming. So here what you want to start is your programming. Here, you want to start your programming. Now again, what you write in the program, the same thing what we discussed, properties and its values. That's what you are going to enter this. Let's quickly check, if you have any program here. So program. Okay, good. Let's view this. Okay, code. Okay, pretty quick. We'll just see this code. Now this is a code. Okay, window error. So let's compare this. Okay, what they are trying to see with that code. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so this pop-up window shows up. Okay, so this is a pop-up window, or you can say dialog box or window, whatever. Since it is in Windows, you're saying this is a window. Okay, so this really doesn't have that a header kind of thing, but still you can drag it. Okay, so this is the window. Okay, so let's assume that is a window. Okay, and there's error. So of course this is an error, right? Okay, this is an error, and see here, win button text. Okay, oh good, this is the win button. This is the win button, and the text is okay. Okay, and you know what? So this is a win button here. That means you are talking about this button, and text is okay. That means what is text? Property. What is value? Okay. Okay. What is width? It's a property. What is 50 is value. Okay. That click. That means this only works when you click this. Click. Okay. So this is what this one-line statement means. This one-line statement means you're clicking that button. What are you trying to do here? You're just entering the properties and values. That's it you're trying to do. And if it's a drop-down box, you instead of click, you select. And if it is a, it's okay, it's a button, you click it. And this is anything else. If you hover your mouse, it just automatically hovers. So it's normally just 3 to 4 properties and values that you use. Click, select. Okay, so all those things. Okay, so that's the that's the one-line code shows how to click a button in an error window. Okay. So even if you're coding yourself, even if you're doing anything, you are just entering all the time. I mean, most of the time at least, you're entering the properties and its values. Okay. So even if you're opening this application, you want to, click on this, click where this, this is startup menu, and I want to click that, this application opens. So all this will be done in Visual Basic. Okay, all this coding will be done in the Visual Basic. Okay, the similar here too. Window, that means a pop-up window shows an error. Of course, it's an error. because the name is error. Here the name is different. Let's say if you know the name is demo.borland.com. Okay, so that's the instead of error. So that will be the option here. Win button, my description, dot click. Okay, here we have text button dot click. So it virtually clicks that button. QTP clicks that button once you write this code. Okay, so this is the meaning of the whole code. Okay, so this is again you're entering only this properties and values here. Okay, so that's about little bit introduction on this code, like whenever you're trying to write in code in QTP. So this is you do when in the descriptive programming. Okay, when there's an application is dynamically changing and a lot of buttons, lot of options, you cannot really do record and playback because it's not a simple website. So that's the reason where you enter into descriptive programming, and you need to code yourself. Okay, so that's about QTP. Okay, if you if you want the slides, this slide is already there. Okay, just want to give you. So this is there in the Google Drive. I hope everyone have access to Google Drive. Let me show you. If you want to refer this slide, you can go ahead and look into this. Go to this directory. So go to this 26th directory, QA class. Once you go in that, this is QTP. Go ahead and you can have this slide. So everyone has access to the Google Drive. They can view this. Okay, slide. Okay. Any questions so far? So somebody asked a question that recording and saving the events take some memory. I mean, I would not say that is a drawback for this. Okay, so that's really not a drawback because, yeah, of course it takes some memory, but it's really not too much. See, if you're talking about RAM, of course it takes a lot of RAM, it takes a lot of things. Okay, if you're talking about the hard disk, really that's not really a problem. Hard disk, a lot of memory, since GB and whatever the result is show really doesn't matter because nowadays the hard disk is pretty, it comes in TBs, right? Not even GBs. So, that's really not a drawback. But if you're talking about the RAM, yes, that takes a little bit more RAM because when it's running, you really, don't want to run any other, any other application. You want to, use that QTP only sold for that system, because it takes a lot of RAM, it takes a lot of things to run. So yes, that can be a drawback, from one point of view. So you cannot use many applications if you're running that QTP, okay, because it uses a lot of RAM and it takes some. You cannot use other applications so fast because since you're running that application. Okay. Any more questions? So yeah, I mean, you're good with QTP, you understood something. You can also go ahead and check with this Selenium. Selenium is similar to QTP. Okay, why? What's the difference between the two? Both are automation tool, and QTP is more used for web applications. I'm sorry, applications made of .NET, C# and all those Microsoft applications. And Selenium is really good at Java applications. Okay, really, it's really good to catch on all those things. QTP is, you have add-ins, of course, I know that, but still, Selenium is, better, and it takes really good thing when you're using this JavaScript, Java, all those things. So I'll send you a link, okay, by today, so that you guys will have some access to Selenium IDE. So you can just add it to your Firefox. Everyone has Firefox, right? Add to your Firefox, run it, just try it. Let me also try. So see how that works. And I'll also give you slides for Selenium, so that if anyone is interested, you can go ahead and read it. Okay, so if no one has any questions, can we close this class for today? Okay, so tomorrow is our last class. So we'll talk about certifications who have not completed, and we'll just have a look on this TFS2, and let me see if I can get you access. That should be great. So that there are 3 test management tools. Okay, one is Rally, the other is Jira. Okay, you have HPLM, check it out, but I'll be giving you my side one more. Try to give, that's really complicated, but I'll still have the access to the TFS. Okay, so you can view that too. Okay, thank you guys.